Hi guys, Seb from Clesana AU here. We're going to be doing a retrofit in an essential caravan today, taking out the existing cassette toilet and replacing it with the Clesana C1 round base. We're going to be using the Retrofit Kit that we've designed to allow us to get this install done in about 30 minutes. Now this kit also comes separately from the backing so that you could do it yourself at home, but this one here is pre-made, so it cuts down your swap over time. This should allow you to retrofit your own toilet at home with minimal tools. Let's get into it. So the first step is to remove the existing cassette from the toilet. The next step is to bypass the existing water supply to the toilet. We're going to do that by replacing the fitting underneath. So the next thing we want to do is remove the existing toilet from the van. That means we need to remove these covers from either side and undo all of the fixings that hold the toilet in place to the floor of the vehicle. So now that we've removed the toilet fixings, we're just going to undo the cables from the control panel, and then we're going to go inside and we're going to remove the toilet from the wall of the vehicle. We can then remove the existing toilet from the vehicle like so. The next step is to put a bead of silicone around the backing plate so that we can secure it to the wall of the vehicle. We're then going to position the backing plate and press it against the wall using the silicone to give us a nice, firm and secure fitment. We will clean up the excess silicone once the installation is complete. Next, we're going to unbox the C1. Removing all the components that will be getting in our way whilst we do the install. Due to the fact that it's about 3,000 degrees outside, we've moved inside to prep the toilet for install. What we're going to do here is remove the 4 stainless screws holding the locking plate down. This will allow us to reach in and lift out the locking plate, giving us access to the base plate and the cables. We're going to undo the cables to make it easier to remove the toilet from the base plate, and then we're simply going to push the toilet slightly back and lift it off the base plate. Once we have access to the base plate, we can identify where the wires, the cables, need to come in to power the toilet. That's a little tab here which can simply be pushed out of the toilet using a little bit of force. So now that we've got the base ready, we're going to secure that to the floor. But before we do that, we're going to get the monitor cable and feed it into the toilet backing. With the round swivel base, we want to make sure that it's about 20 mil away from the toilet backing or the retrofit kit and centralized in the space. It takes 4 screws to simply retain it to the floor. Now we're just going to place the display unit into the top of the toilet. It simply pops into the top and locks into place. Before we finish off putting the toilet in place, there's a couple of quick jobs to do outside. We've got to connect the toilet monitor, and then we've got to connect the old cassette toilet power supply to the EBL. We're just going to cut the existing toilet wire, strip the cables, and then attach to the EBL, making sure that the positive goes into the positive and the negative goes into the negative. We can then plug the EBL back into the system. This will allow the old toilet power to trickle charge the lithium-ion battery that we've put in place to provide the toilet with the power it needs to do the welding process. Now that the power supply is complete and all the cables are connected, we're just going to tidy this up so that we can then move inside and attach the toilet. With the outside work done, all we've got to do is reverse the process of removing the toilet from the base by putting it back onto its base and securing the locking disc. We do that by lifting it onto the base, making sure that all the cables come through into the middle of the toilet, and then sliding the toilet forward, connecting the monitor cable, connecting the power cable, and tidying them up into the central space. Pop in the retaining disc or locking disc, and then pop the 4 stainless screws back into the base. And that's it. Now that the toilet is secured, we can reassemble the pieces and pop the lid back on. We do this by lining up the recess here with the clip on the front and then locking it in at the back. Always remember, when you're taking off the lid, you want to take it off from back to front, and when you're applying the lid, always from front to back. We're just going to tidy up the silicone now using a bit of clear window cleaner and a little scraper. Now that the toilet's installed, we can simply flip the power control board to auto, which will allow the existing toilet's power supply to charge the lithium battery. So that's it, guys. That's how to do a Clesana retrofit in a heat wave using the Retrofit Kit, which includes the power management and the battery, the Clesana C1 with the round base and a little bit of elbow grease. You can have your install done in about 30 minutes. You can find out more information on Clesana.au. As with all electrical work, if you're not confident in what you're doing, please do seek advice of a professional or get a professional to do the install for you. On our website, there is actually a directory of all our retrofitters throughout the country to help you with this process if you're not confident in what you're doing.